Gone are the days when to do our homework or to do our office work, we used to do a lot of research, read up some resources, and most often try it out through trial and error again and again until we actually get a solution. But then now, ever since the entire wave of AI and LLMs and ChatGPT came out, that's all changed completely. But however, most people treat AI like a magic 8 ball. They ask a vague question and they get an average answer and then complain that the technology isn't there yet, or worse, they don't adapt to the moving technology trends of AI. But the truth is, AI isn't failing you. Probably if you learned how to communicate better with AI, it'll all make amazing sense. Communication is the ultimate key, and welcome to Engineer Your Work with Prompts by me. I'm Aadith Sukumar, and let's get right into the video. Now, before we actually get started, there are two main ground rules that we'll set for this session and for all the sessions ahead so that it's easy for everybody. First one, this is not a solution to prompting techniques. I'm not giving you a fish directly that, hey, these are the prompt templates you should use. This is what you should say. This is what you should not say. I mean, yes, we will be covering it, but then there are a lot of resources out there to actually give you the prompt templates or give you the exact solution on it. But today we are going to also learn how to think better to prompt better. We're going to understand how things actually work. And that's the second important point. Learning why something works is often more important than learning the how and the what. Now, again, focus on what I'm trying to say here. Learning why it works is often more important because that really helps you understand how things are working. And that's why the why is very, very important because always ask, but why? Be the penguin, learn and go your own path, understand the true meaning of things. Let's get started on the actual content that we have over here. So, starting things off with the foundations. The foundations are very important before I directly ask you to open ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini to enter these prompts. And that is to understand what are these tools, how are they working, what is actually happening in the back end, and most importantly, how do they work and why do they work the way they do. So, the very simplification of artificial intelligence is very important. It all starts with math. Computers can do anything, they can do complicated stuff. Because earlier, we wanted to perform a lot of calculations through books, manually, through pen, paper, or anything. It was very tedious. We built computers that could compute all of this in split seconds. Then, these computers and calculations were a bit redundant, so we compiled and mixed them into code so that we can also perform more advanced functions, complicated functions, and a much more predefined syntax and formatting. But of course, we cannot expect everybody to learn everything, right? So that's where from code, we then eventually went to parsing it for people. So that let's say, even if somebody wants to understand, hey, how this is working, they don't need to type code or if you want to download a video or download an image, they don't need to sit and write Python codes to get it downloaded on their PC. They can just click a button and go. Simplification actually led us to where we are right now. So moving next ahead is something that we already had for so many years. Now, of course, you all know what this is. This is Siri, Google Assistant. Like a decade ago, these were the dominating AI forces. When you say AI systems, people will say, oh, I had Google Assistant. I can say, hey, Google, okay, Google, and get things done. And then secondly, I also had Siri to get things done. So you would go something like, hey, turn on the TV. And then what would happen generally is your TV will turn on. But how does it know exactly? I mean, our TV does not know English, neither do these chatbots. But then actually what happens is it just tries to pass it into code into understandable format. It just takes two main words, TV and on. That means it knows it needs to turn the television on. This is how the basic simplification of artificial intelligence started, with just very, very small blocks. And then today you have modern tools like Claude that's actually building the next frontier models and helping us break through development at lightning speed. So what's exactly an LLM in this case, is basically just a next token predictor. It does not know facts. It just knows likelihoods. It knows, okay, what is the next ideal word in this sentence that I should probably give out as an answer. That's how it works. To do this, let's play one of my favorite game, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or Kaun Banega Crorepati. Let's say I'm asking you a question. I'll ask something like, what is the capital of France? And the options are option A, banana. Option B, Dholakpur. Option C, Paris. And option D, Uranus. Think. What do you think would be the answer? Or, I mean, you know what the answer would be. I'm assuming so. But how do you think an LLM would know what the answer is. Now, if you go ask ChatGPT right now and type, "Hey, what is the capital of France?" How does it exactly choose B, Paris? Is it all probabilities? It is indeed, because LLMs do not look up a specific database. It looks at the sequence of tokens, and then it has a lot of data in the back end where it's trained on, where so many times it was written that Paris, the capital of France, something happened over here, which was the capital of France. It is 99.7% likely to be Paris and 0.1% to be Uranus. Remember, I posted a picture about a penguin and asking why? Now, why do you think over here I specifically said 99.7% Paris, but not 99 or 100%? Any idea why? Now, if you look closely, the answer was in the previous image or in the background image over here itself. There are four options out there. And we're looking at probabilities. AI thinks that everything can be possible. It's just something is a higher likelihood. It always looks at a non-zero probability of things. There is a non-zero probability that somewhere down in the future, maybe 1,000 years or 2,000 years later, they might keep some other country, or Susgaon or Dholakpur or Mumbai as the capital of France. But then it knows right now it's Paris. If you prompt vaguely, you get the average of the internet. But if you prompt specifically, you actually narrow down the probability distribution to the expert corner of the internet. That's where it's really important, because it tries to search through so much data out there. So technically, it's all math for artificial intelligence. Well, yes, it always has been. AI runs on mathematics, hence why mathematics is very, very important. And if you want to learn the mathematics behind AI, the basic data science behind AI, or if you feel that the prompt engineering and LLMs and transformers are too complicated and you don't have much knowledge about it, I've also made a video on how to learn these AI/ML concepts from scratch with a lot of free resources. I'll paste it in the link up there on the top right corner. Click on it, and then you will actually learn. There are some modules on basics of mathematics and data science and how to learn Python and stuff. And then you can watch that, learn AI, come back here and become an expert in prompt engineering. Okay, now let's try to get things to reality over here. Now, you all know the popular game Flappy Bird that you have. And now what I want to do is try the actual power of prompt engineering. Open up ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT for the code, and just give a simple prompt. Write code for Flappy Bird game. Notice what comes up. It's going to be a very simple Python file that's there. Very quick, about 100, 200 lines of code using Pygame and stuff. And then you can paste it on VS Code, run it as a Python program, and it's going to directly start the game. You can play Flappy Bird immediately. But now let's take this one step higher. And now next time, ask it, hey, act as a senior Python developer, create a Flappy Bird file, and then use high quality assets, keep a high score tally, player name input, three modes: easy, medium, hard, how to play pop up, write clean code with comments explaining the physics logic as well, and create a README file. This is the difference on how to actually write better prompts to get better outputs. Because in the initial code where you just asked create a code for a Flappy Bird game, it just directly started on the game. You click and you start playing it. Easy, straightforward, agreed. But then where is the how to for new players? Where is the high score tally? Why does it keep forgetting what my high score was? And what if I'm just very new at it, and I want an easy mode? What if it's too easy for me and I want a difficult mode? We should have all those things when you're building very good products. And for that, writing effective prompts like this makes a very big difference. So that is the end of this part of this video. The video was too long, so I sliced it down into different segments to ensure that you don't get bored, and it's also interesting for you to keep short videos focusing on specific topics. For the next video, it's be releasing very, very soon, so stay tuned. Like this video if you really like the way I taught, and if you like some really interesting concepts, even if it helped you improve 5% than you were previously, it's a big win for me. And also comment down what did you like about the video, and if you want to learn something, a different topic, then paste it down there as well. I'll definitely read every comment, and I'll also reach out and also prepare the next content for the same. Last but not the least, subscribe and share, because let's not gatekeep knowledge, and let's share it with everybody. See you in the next part. Bye bye.